What if I told you that some of the grandest castles in the world are still haunted by the very royals who once ruled them? Imagine walking through a grand palace, only to encounter the ghost of a long-dead monarch, still lingering in the halls they once walked. From ghostly monarchs who met tragic ends, to centuries-old curses that refuse to fade, these haunted palaces hide stories far darker than their royal facades suggest. Whether it's the restless spirits of kings and queens or the lingering dread of ancient betrayals, these palaces have witnessed horrors that time hasn't erased. In this video, we'll uncover 100 creepy facts about these haunted historical sites. Each fact will reveal the terrifying truth behind their dark pasts. Do you dare to discover the true haunted history of royal castles and palaces? Stay with us as we explore the sinister side of royal history. The Tower of London has been a symbol of royal power and mystery for over 1,000 years, but it's also one of the most haunted sites in England. The most famous ghost here is Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII, who was executed at the Tower in 1536. Her ghost is often seen near the Tower Green, holding her severed head. Visitors feel an eerie sense of sadness when they encounter her spirit, which seems unable to move on. Other apparitions include King Henry VI, who was murdered in the Tower and whose ghost haunts the Wakefield Tower. Witnesses describe seeing his figure near the spot where he died, making the Tower not just a symbol of power, but also of tragedy and restless souls. Anne Boleyn's tragic fate at the Tower of London has left a haunting legacy. After being beheaded on orders from King Henry VIII, Anne's spirit is said to remain at the Tower, often seen near the Tower Green, where she was executed. Her ghost is reported to be carrying her own severed head, a chilling image that reflects her untimely and violent death. Those who have witnessed her apparition claim to experience an overwhelming feeling of grief and sorrow. Some have even heard her soft sobs echoing in the Tower's quiet corridors. In addition to sightings, her presence is often felt as a cold, heavy atmosphere, as if her spirit is forever trapped within the stone walls of the Tower, reliving her final moments in eternal unrest. One of the most unsettling phenomena at the Tower of London is the sound of chains dragging across the stone floors, echoing through the corridors, especially in the darker corners of the Tower. The source of these eerie sounds is believed to be the restless spirits of prisoners who suffered here in the past. Many of these prisoners were shackled in chains before their execution. Some were starved, others tortured, but all met horrific fates within the Tower's walls. Visitors to the Beauchamp Tower report feeling an invisible presence, with many describing an oppressive, suffocating atmosphere. Some even experience the sensation of being gently touched or pushed, a reminder of those who are bound in chains, still trapped in the Tower's dark history, unable to escape their torment. Sir Walter Raleigh, the famous explorer and courtier, was imprisoned at the Tower of London for over 13 years after falling out of favour with King James III. Raleigh spent his time writing and reflecting on his life, but his spirit never found peace. His ghost is said to haunt the Wakefield Tower, pacing its corridors as if searching for an escape. Many witnesses report hearing footsteps echoing through the Tower's stone hallways, but when they turn, Raleigh's ghost is nowhere to be found. The sensation of being followed is particularly strong near the Tower's dark corners. It is believed that Raleigh's restless soul still wanders the Tower, trapped within the same walls that once held him prisoner, forever unable to escape his fate. One of the most unsettling paranormal experiences at the Tower of London is the sensation of being touched by an unseen hand. Many visitors to the Tower report feeling a sudden pressure on their shoulder or arm, but when they turn around, no one is there. These ghostly touches are believed to be caused by the spirits of prisoners who died within the Tower. Many were executed in brutal ways, while others languished in cells waiting for death. The sensation of being touched is often reported near the Beauchamp Tower, where many of these prisoners were held. It is as though these souls are reaching out from the past, still desperate for attention, or seeking some form of justice for their tragic end, forever tied to the Tower. Edinburgh Castle, perched on a volcanic rock overlooking the city, is a site of deep historical significance and countless ghost stories. Among the most famous apparitions is the Phantom Piper. The Piper is said to have disappeared while exploring a secret tunnel beneath the castle, and now his ghostly music is heard echoing through the halls. Visitors often report hearing faint bagpipe music in the castle, even when no piper is visible. The music is particularly haunting near the dungeon and stone corridors, where the piper is believed to have ventured before vanishing. Some claim that the sound grows louder the deeper they go into the castle, as if the spirit is still trying to lead them to his hidden fate. This eerie melody is a reminder of the castle's dark and mysterious history. The headless drummer boy of Edinburgh Castle is one of the most tragic and chilling legends in Scottish folklore. According to the story, the drummer boy was decapitated during an attack on the castle, but his ghost is said to continue drumming on the battlements, as if preparing for battle. Visitors to the castle often hear the distant sound of drums echoing through the stone corridors and courtyards, though the drummer is nowhere in sight. The rhythmic beats seem to come from all directions, haunting those who hear them. Some have even reported seeing the headless figure of the boy still marching along the walls with his drumsticks moving in an eerie rhythmic pattern. His ghost is trapped in the castle, forever reliving the final moments of his tragic death. The Grey Lady of Edinburgh Castle is another well-known apparition, and her tragic story adds to the castle's dark reputation. She's believed to be the ghost of a servant who died in a violent manner, either through murder or an accident. Her figure is often seen drifting through the castle's hallways, dressed in tattered grey clothing. Witnesses describe an overwhelming sense of sadness and loss when encountering her spirit. The Grey Lady has been spotted near the royal chambers, where she once worked, and often in areas of the castle where tragedy occurred. Some visitors have even reported hearing soft cries or whispers accompanying her appearance. It seems her spirit lingers in the castle, unable to move on from her tragic fate. The soldiers who died defending Edinburgh Castle are believed to still haunt its walls. The ghostly soldiers are often seen in full battle attire, marching silently along the battlements or standing guard near the castle gates. Their presence is so vivid that it feels as though the castle is frozen in time, haunted by the souls of those who once defended it. Visitors often report hearing the clanking of armour and the sound of footsteps echoing in the quiet halls, but when they turn around, no one is visible. These spectral figures seem locked in a never-ending vigil, guarding the castle long after their deaths. Some visitors even claim to feel a sudden sensation of being watched, as if the soldiers are still on duty, forever trapped in the afterlife. The crown jewels of Scotland, displayed in Edinburgh Castle, are not only treasures but also a source of supernatural activity. Visitors frequently experience cold spots near the exhibit, despite the castle being well heated. Some believe the coldness is connected to the royal spirits that guard these sacred relics. The temperature drops significantly as visitors approach the jewels, making the experience all the more unsettling. The spirits of long-dead royals are said to be drawn to the crown jewels, protecting them from harm. Some visitors report feeling a chilling presence, as though the ghosts of the monarchs who once wore the crown are standing nearby. The sensation is especially intense when standing near the display, giving the feeling that the spirits of these powerful rulers are still watching over their treasures. Bodiam Castle, built in the 14th century, is one of the most haunting castles in England. With its medieval design and picturesque moat, the castle is a beautiful sight, but its history is far darker. Visitors often report eerie sensations in the castle's inner chambers, where the souls of former knights and soldiers are said to linger. Ghostly figures, clad in ancient armour, have been seen patrolling the battlements, still on guard even in death. Some hear the faint clang of swords or the rattle of armour in the empty courtyard. The sense of being watched is particularly strong near the tower rooms, where prisoners were once held. These restless spirits seem trapped in an endless cycle of guarding the castle long after their physical deaths. The soldiers who perished defending Bodiam Castle are said to still haunt the fortress. Their ghostly figures are often spotted walking the ramparts or patrolling the castle's perimeter. In battle, many knights met grisly ends, and their spirits now wander the very battlements they once defended. Visitors claim to hear the clattering of armour and the heavy footsteps of these long-dead soldiers, only to turn around and see no one. Some even report seeing fleeting shadows in the castle's tower rooms, where soldiers once stood guard. These spirits seem locked in their eternal duty, guarding the castle long after their mortal lives have ended. The atmosphere in these areas is heavy with the tension of forgotten battles. The sound of clanging swords and armour rattling often echoes through the halls of Bodiam Castle, even though no living person is there. This eerie sound is believed to be the ghosts of warriors who died in battle, forever reliving their final moments. Some visitors describe the sounds as faint at first, like the distant clash of battle, but growing louder as they approach certain rooms. The Great Hall, once a site of feasts and gatherings, now serves as the backdrop for these eerie noises. The spirits seem to be forever engaged in the chaos of battle, their ghostly armour clashing in a loop of violence. Some claim to even feel the vibration of armour under their feet as they walk the castle's stone floors. In the Great Hall of Bodiam Castle, an eerie phenomenon takes place late at night. Visitors often report hearing faint cries and sobs, as if the spirits of those who suffered in the castle are still trapped. These voices are said to belong to servants and prisoners who endured brutal conditions within the castle's walls. The cries echo from the corners of the hall, especially near the fireplaces, where many were once sentenced to death by fire or starvation. The haunting wails seem to rise and fall with the wind, giving the sensation that the castle's tragic past is still alive. These chilling sounds make it clear that the castle's history is far from over. Its ghosts still wander, bound by their violent past. The moat surrounding Bodiam Castle is not just a defensive feature, it is believed to be a prison for the restless spirits of soldiers and prisoners. Many died within the moat, either from battle or cruel punishment, and now their ghosts are said to haunt the waters. Visitors have reported seeing glowing orbs floating above the water at night, and some even claim to hear the faint whispers of voices calling from the depths. The eerie mists that often rise from the moat only add to the ominous atmosphere. It's said that these spirits are trapped within the water, unable to escape the boundaries of the castle's walls. Their ethereal presence lingers in the fog, forever tied to the place where they met their untimely ends. Château de Chillon, located on the shores of Lake Geneva, is steeped in dark history and ghostly legends. The spirit of François Bonivard, a monk imprisoned here for many years, is one of the most famous hauntings. His ghost is said to roam the castle's dark corridors and dungeons, forever seeking freedom. His imprisonment was marked by suffering, and his spirit remains tethered to the very walls that once confined him. Some visitors have seen his ghost pacing the underground dungeons, where he spent most of his life, or standing by the lake gazing out at the horizon, as though still yearning for escape. His story is one of isolation and torment, and his restless soul seems unable to find peace within the castle's ancient stones. François Bonivard was imprisoned at Château de Chillon for his political beliefs, held in a dark dungeon for years. His tragic tale is central to the ghostly legend surrounding the castle. His spirit is said to haunt the dungeons, walking the same stone floors he did during his imprisonment. Visitors often report hearing the sound of faint footsteps and the sound of chains dragging along the floor. Some claim they see a figure in a monk's robes, his face obscured, wandering the dark corridors. His ghost is often described as forlorn, as though still waiting for the freedom that was denied to him in life. The atmosphere in the dungeons is thick with the weight of his suffering, as though Bonivard's spirit is still trapped in that dark, cold prison. Within the walls of Château de Chillon, whispering voices can often be heard, particularly near the castle's ancient stone corridors. Some believe these voices belong to the souls of prisoners who perished here, still trapped in the echo of their suffering. Visitors have reported hearing whispers in foreign languages, as if the souls of long-dead prisoners are still trying to communicate. The voices seem to move through the corridors, growing louder as people approach, only to fade away as they leave. The whispers grow more distinct near the dungeons, where the spirits of the castle's most unfortunate prisoners are thought to remain, forever trapped in the castle's oppressive atmosphere. This eerie phenomenon serves as a constant reminder of the past's grim history. The shores of Lake Geneva, where Château de Chillon stands, are said to be haunted by spectral figures who drift along the water's edge. These figures are believed to be the spirits of former prisoners cast into the lake after their executions. Visitors claim to see faint shapes wandering the shoreline at night, often disappearing into the mist that rises off the water. Some have even described the figures as glowing, their faces distorted in anguish. The spirits seem to be forever tied to the lake, trapped in their final moments of life. The haunting beauty of the lake combined with these spectral figures creates an unsettling atmosphere, as if the past is forever intertwined with the present. In the dungeons of Château de Chillon, there are frequent reports of sudden, unnatural cold spots. These cold areas appear without warning, chilling visitors to the bone. Some believe that these cold spots are linked to the tormented spirits of prisoners who died in the dungeon, their suffering leaving a mark on the castle. The temperature drops significantly near certain cells, as though the ghosts of the past are reaching out to those in the present. Visitors who stand near these cold spots often feel a sense of unease, as if something or someone is watching them. The dungeons were once a place of torture and death, and it seems that the chilling presence of these spirits still lingers in the air, waiting to make their presence known. The Royal Palace of Madrid, with its opulent architecture and rich history, is home to more than just the Spanish royal family. It's haunted by the spirits of past monarchs. Queen Maria Luisa, who died under mysterious circumstances, is one of the most prominent ghosts. Her spirit is said to wander the grand halls of the palace, particularly around the throne room and royal apartments. Many visitors report feeling a sudden drop in temperature when near her, as if she's still watching over the palace she once ruled. Some even claim to see her ghost, clad in regal attire, silently walking through the grand corridors. Maria Luisa's presence in the palace is a chilling reminder of the royal past, still lingering long after her death. One of the most unsettling spirits in the Royal Palace of Madrid is that of a phantom guard. This figure is often seen standing still at the entrance, dressed in 18th century military attire. The guard's ghost is believed to be that of a soldier who died while defending the palace, and his spirit seems unable to leave. Visitors report feeling watched as they approach the entrance, with some even claiming to see the figure move silently along the palace grounds. The phantom guard is often seen near the royal gardens and palace gates, silently keeping watch as if still on duty. His presence is especially eerie because it gives the impression that the palace is still under the protection of its long-dead defenders. There is one room in the Royal Palace of Madrid that is said to be cursed. This chamber, where many tragic events occurred, is believed to be haunted by the spirits of the past. It has witnessed numerous royal deaths, betrayals, and unsolved mysteries. Visitors who step inside often report an oppressive, cold atmosphere and a sense of foreboding. Some claim they hear whispers or see figures lurking in the corners, but when they look, no one is there. The chamber's curse is thought to be linked to the violent deaths and intrigues that once unfolded within its walls. Those who enter the room without permission may be subject to misfortune, as the ghosts of the past seem to linger, protecting the dark secrets that lie hidden within the palace. King Charles II of Spain is said to haunt the Royal Palace of Madrid. His ghost appears near the royal bedchamber where he died. Charles II suffered from poor health and a tragic life, leading his spirit to linger at the palace. His presence is often accompanied by a sense of sorrow and a cold, oppressive atmosphere. Some claim to see his ghostly figure sitting by the window or standing near his bed, as though waiting for his death to end. Witnesses report hearing soft murmurs and feeling an overwhelming sadness, as if the king is still struggling with his final moments, forever tied to the palace he once ruled. The Royal Palace of Madrid is filled with the whispers of former monarchs. Visitors often report hearing faint voices echoing through the grand halls, especially near the throne room. These whispers are believed to belong to past kings and queens who still watch over the palace. Some hear names being called, or experience a sudden feeling of being watched. The sounds seem to grow louder near the royal chambers, where secrets and conspiracies once unfolded. The spirits of these royals are said to remain in the palace, unable to leave, still connected to the place that defined their lives and their rule. Buckingham Palace is not only the residence of the British monarchy, but also home to many royal ghosts. Queen Victoria is one of the most frequently reported spirits. Her ghost is often seen walking through the royal corridors, particularly near the rooms where she spent her final years. The presence of her spirit is said to bring a sense of grief and longing. Visitors often describe feeling cold spots or hearing faint footsteps. Her ghost is believed to remain within the palace, still mourning the loss of her beloved husband, Prince Albert, whose spirit is also said to haunt the palace gardens, walking among the flowers he once cared for. The ghost of Prince Albert, the beloved husband of Queen Victoria, is said to haunt Buckingham Palace. His spirit is particularly drawn to the royal gardens, where he spent much time with his wife. Visitors have reported seeing his ghostly figure, dressed in a dark suit, walking through the palace grounds. His presence is often accompanied by a chill in the air. Some claim to feel a sense of sadness, as though he is forever mourning his separation from Victoria. His apparition is a reminder of the deep love they shared, and his ghost seems to linger, unable to leave the place where he and his wife created memories. Queen Victoria's quarters in Buckingham Palace are said to be haunted by her spirit. After Prince Albert's death, Queen Victoria spent much of her time in these rooms, consumed by grief. Her ghost is said to walk the halls, particularly in the royal chambers where she once lived. Visitors report feeling a sudden coldness when entering her rooms, with some claiming to have seen her ghostly figure sitting by the window gazing out. The atmosphere in the Queen's quarters is heavy with the sadness she felt, and her presence is a reminder of the profound sorrow she endured after the loss of her beloved prince. In the staff quarters of Buckingham Palace, a chilling cold spot is said to appear without warning. This is believed to be the haunting of King George III, who suffered from mental illness during his reign. The coldness is most often felt near areas where the king spent time during his illness. Visitors and staff alike describe the sensation of being watched, accompanied by a cold breeze that feels unnatural. Some say that the king's spirit remains in the palace, forever trapped by his mental suffering and the oppressive atmosphere of the palace. This haunting presence lingers, reminding those who encounter it of his troubled reign. The royal corridors of Buckingham Palace are said to echo with the sound of footsteps, even when no one is around. Many believe these footsteps belong to former royals who still walk the halls, their spirits lingering in the palace. The footsteps are particularly noticeable during the night when the palace is empty. Some visitors report feeling a sudden sense of unease, as though they are being followed. Others describe hearing the sound of footsteps approaching, only to turn around and find no one there. The presence of these footsteps is said to be a reminder that the spirits of the past are never truly gone, forever tied to the place they once ruled. Malbert Castle, the largest brick castle in the world, is steeped in eerie legends. Once the headquarters of the Teutonic Knights, it is believed to be haunted by the spirits of knights who died during battles and sieges. Visitors often report seeing ghostly figures in armour, silently marching along the castle's walls or standing guard. The Knights' Hall is especially notorious for its haunting, with reports of clanking swords and the sound of hooves as if the knights are still preparing for battle. The spirits are believed to be trapped within the castle's walls, forever reliving the violence and honour of their past lives. Their presence is palpable in the most ancient areas of the castle, where the past feels alive. The Teutonic Knights, known for their brutal campaigns, are said to have cursed Malbert Castle. Many of the knights met violent deaths, and their spirits are believed to haunt the castle to this day. Their ghostly apparitions can be seen walking along the castle's walls, still wearing their full armour. The eerie sounds of battle can sometimes be heard, as if the knights are forever fighting the same war. The castle's moat and main courtyard are particularly haunted, where the spirits of those who died are said to remain, unable to escape the cycle of violence. These knights seem trapped in the castle, unable to leave the battlefield of their past. The woman in white is one of the most chilling apparitions at Malbert Castle. She's believed to be a noblewoman who was murdered by her lover, and her spirit is said to haunt the castle's halls, seeking vengeance. Her ghost is often seen in the courtyard or near the entrance gate, dressed in a flowing white gown. The woman in white is said to appear at night, drifting silently through the halls, her face filled with sorrow and anger. Witnesses often report a sense of sadness and a feeling of being watched. Some claim to see her in the castle gardens, standing near the spots where she was betrayed, forever seeking peace and justice. The library of Malbert Castle is said to be haunted by the spirit of a monk who once lived there. The monk is believed to have died after spending years working on forbidden texts. His ghost is often seen flipping through the pages of ancient books, as if still searching for knowledge. Visitors report feeling an eerie presence when entering the library, with many describing a sudden drop in temperature or the sensation of being watched. Some claim to hear faint whispers, like the monk's ghost is trying to communicate. The library holds many dark secrets, and the monk's restless spirit seems tied to the knowledge he once sought, unable to leave the ancient text behind. The death mask of a doge displayed in the Palazzo Ducale is said to be haunted. After the doge's death, a mask was made to preserve his likeness. It's believed that the mask captures the spirit of the doge, and many who approach it report feeling an overwhelming chill. Some visitors even describe seeing the mask's eyes move or feeling a sudden pressure on their chest, as though the spirit inside is trying to communicate. The mask's eerie presence serves as a reminder of the power and legacy of the doges, but also of the curse that binds their spirits to the palace. The doge's soul is believed to remain in the mask, guarding the secrets of Venice. The Forbidden City in Beijing, once the residence of Chinese emperors, is said to be haunted by the spirits of former rulers and concubines. One of the most famous apparitions is that of Empress Dowager Cixi, who is said to haunt the imperial gardens and royal chambers. Her ghost appears dressed in imperial robes, still watching over the Forbidden City. Visitors report feeling a sudden coldness in certain areas, particularly near the Hall of Supreme Harmony. These spirits are said to be bound to the palace, unable to leave the place that once held their power. The whispering spirits of past rulers can sometimes be heard, still overseeing the empire even in death. The Forbidden City is filled with the whispers of those who once lived and ruled within its walls. Concubines, servants, and even emperors are said to remain, their spirits lingering in the palace halls. Visitors often report hearing faint whispers in the air, particularly near the empress's chambers. The whispers are unintelligible, but they grow louder as visitors get closer to the imperial garden or the throne room. Some believe these are the voices of the spirits of former royals, still watching over the palace. Others claim they hear the rustling of robes, as if a ghost is passing by. But when they turn, no one is there. The Forbidden City remains haunted, full of souls from the past. Empress Dowager Cixi, one of the most powerful figures in Chinese history, is said to haunt the Forbidden City. She's often seen walking near the imperial gardens where she spent much of her time. Her ghost is described as a faint, ethereal figure dressed in imperial robes, still commanding the palace as though she never left. Some claim to hear the rustling of her silk robes as she moves through the halls. The Empress's ghost is particularly drawn to the throne room, where she once held court, and many visitors describe feeling an overwhelming sense of authority when they enter this space. It's as if her presence is still felt, commanding respect even after death. Emperor Yongzheng ruled during the Qing dynasty and is said to haunt the Forbidden City. His ghost is often seen near the throne room, where he once governed the empire with an iron fist. Visitors report feeling a sudden cold chill when near the throne, as if the emperor's stern spirit is still overseeing the palace. Some describe hearing his voice, though muffled and distant, as if he's still issuing commands. His restless spirit is believed to be tied to his royal duties, unable to escape the place where he ruled. The aura of authority that surrounds his ghost makes it clear that he is still watching, guarding the Forbidden City even in death. In the Forbidden City, there are chilling accounts of the spirits of concubines who were executed after falling out of favour. These women were often imprisoned and tortured, and their spirits are said to haunt the palace, especially the imperial quarters. Visitors report hearing distressed cries echoing through the halls, particularly near the Queen's private chambers. Some claim they feel a sudden cold presence in these areas, as though the spirits of the concubines are still suffering. The ghostly cries are believed to be the voices of those who met violent ends, trapped in the palace where their lives were controlled and ultimately taken. The concubines' spirits continue to wander, searching for justice or revenge. Palazzo Ducale, or Doge's Palace, stands as a magnificent symbol of Venice's former power, but beneath its beauty lies a haunting past. The ghosts of former doges are said to wander the palace halls, unable to leave the grandeur they once ruled. One of the most famous apparitions is the spirit of the doge who was betrayed and murdered by political rivals. His restless soul is believed to haunt the palace, searching for retribution. Visitors report feeling a presence in the throne room and hearing whispers near the doge's chambers, as if the ghosts of the past are still trapped in the politics of Venice, endlessly reliving their rise and fall from power. The Palazzo Ducale is not just haunted by royals, it is also home to the spirits of prisoners who suffered and died within its walls. The palace once served as a prison, and many were tortured or executed in its depths. The dungeons beneath the palace are said to be the site of the most intense hauntings, Visitors often report hearing clanking chains and feeling the heavy presence of a tortured soul. Some claim to see ghostly shadows walking through the prison cells, forever trapped by the violence and injustice that once occurred there. These spirits seem unable to escape their suffering, their anguish forever tied to the palace that once held them captive. After the death of a doge, a death mask was created to preserve their likeness. It is said that these masks hold a strange power, capturing the spirit of the doge within them. One particularly eerie mask, displayed in the Palazzo Ducale, is believed to be haunted by the spirit of the doge who wore it. Visitors report feeling uneasy when standing near the mask, as if the eyes of the doge are watching them. Some even claim to see the mask's eyes move, or feel an oppressive presence in the room. The ghost of the doge is said to remain in the mask, guarding the secrets of Venice long after his physical death. The Bridge of Sighs in Palazzo Ducale connects the palace to the prison, and it is said that the ghost of a prisoner haunts the bridge. Legend has it that a prisoner, about to be executed, sighed one last time as he crossed the bridge. His ghost is said to be trapped there, forever walking the same path. Visitors report seeing a shadowy figure crossing the bridge late at night, and some claim to hear the sound of a soft sigh in the air. The ghost is believed to be forever reliving his final moments, and his restless spirit can never leave the palace grounds. His sighs echo in the air, a reminder of the tragedy that took place within the palace walls. The phantom of the Venetian court is another mysterious haunting tied to Palazzo Ducale. This ghostly figure, often described as a man dressed in dark, flowing robes, is believed to be the spirit of a nobleman who was betrayed and killed during a political conspiracy. His ghost is said to wander the palace's halls, appearing to those who walk in the footsteps of the city's lost aristocracy. The figure is particularly sighted in the throne room or near the doge's private chambers, where the politics of Venice once played out. Some claim that the ghostly nobleman still seeks revenge for his untimely death, forever lingering in the palace that once held his power. Hauska Castle is one of the most mysterious and eerie places in the world. Built over a gateway to hell, it is rumoured to be a prison for demons and restless spirits. The castle was constructed to contain the dark forces believed to reside beneath its foundation, and many claim that the spirits trapped in the castle are still there, wandering its halls. Visitors often report hearing strange whispers and feeling uneasy, especially near the dungeons where the gateway to hell is believed to be located. Some even claim to see shadowy figures lurking in the corridors. It is as if the castle is a barrier between the living and the dead, with its dark energy forever seeping into the world of the living. In the depths of Hauska Castle, visitors often report hearing unexplained screams coming from the dungeon. These screams are believed to be the voices of the demons or spirits trapped inside the gateway to hell. Legend has it that the castle was built to seal the portal, but it seems the spirits cannot be contained. The screams are most often heard at night, when the castle is quiet, and they echo through the stone walls. Some visitors even feel a physical sense of being pulled toward the dungeon, as though the spirits are reaching out. These terrifying cries are a constant reminder of the dark energy that still haunts the castle, trapped forever in its walls. The founder of Hauska Castle, Vladislav II, is said to haunt the castle he created. His ghost is often seen near the castle's main gate, still watching over the place he built. The castle was originally constructed to protect against the evil forces believed to reside beneath, and Vladislav's spirit is said to remain as a guardian. Witnesses report seeing a tall, shadowy figure standing in the gatehouse, staring out into the distance. Some claim that his spirit lingers, not just as a protector, but as a restless soul trapped within the castle's walls, unable to leave the place where he once ruled. His presence is particularly felt during times of strange occurrences, as though he is still fighting the dark forces that lie beneath the castle. Legend has it that demons were trapped inside Hauska Castle during its construction, bound within the walls to prevent them from escaping into the world. Many believe that these demons still haunt the castle, their spirits forever tied to the stone. Visitors often report seeing shadowy figures darting across the rooms, and some describe hearing demonic laughter or the sound of chains rattling. The castle's dungeons are particularly haunted, with a sense of oppression that grows stronger the deeper one goes into the castle. Some even claim that the dark energy in these areas is so intense that it can leave visitors feeling physically drained. These trapped demons are said to be forever searching for a way to escape, their presence still haunting the castle to this day. The Beast of Hauska Castle is one of the most terrifying legends associated with the castle. The beast is said to have emerged from the gateway to hell, a terrifying creature that caused chaos and fear in the surrounding area. Some claim to have seen its shadowy form lurking in the castle, a massive creature with glowing red eyes. Others have reported hearing growls and scraping sounds coming from the depths of the castle, as though the beast is still trying to escape. The legend says that the creature was sealed inside the castle, forever trapped between the physical and supernatural worlds. The beast's presence is said to linger in the castle, a dark reminder of the evil forces that still remain locked within its walls. Château de Brissac, located in the Loire Valley, is home to the famous Green Lady, a ghost believed to be the spirit of Charlotte de France, the wife of the Duke of Brissac. Charlotte was tragically murdered by her husband in 1542 after discovering his infidelity. Her ghost is said to haunt the castle's grand rooms, often seen drifting through the halls dressed in a flowing green gown. Her spirit is restless, and she is frequently spotted near the ballroom and the Duke's chambers. Visitors often report feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness when near her apparition, with some even hearing her mournful cries echoing through the halls at night. The haunting of the Green Lady at Château de Brissac is tied to the tragic death of Charlotte de France, who was murdered by her husband. Her ghost, dressed in a green gown, is said to wander the castle, forever searching for peace. Some say she's most often seen near the ballroom, where she once danced with her husband before tragedy struck. Charlotte's tragic end at the hands of someone she loved has left her spirit tethered to the castle. Visitors report feeling a sense of deep sorrow when they encounter her, as though her sadness is still very much alive. The Green Lady is believed to be trapped in the same halls where she met her untimely death. Château de Brissac is known not just for its beauty, but also for its cursed legacy. The Green Lady's murder is said to have left a dark mark on the castle. Since her death, many visitors have reported a series of unexplained phenomena, from flickering lights to the sensation of being touched by unseen hands. The castle's tragic history has led some to believe it is cursed, with the spirits of those who met untimely ends still haunting its walls. The legacy of betrayal, murder and heartbreak continues to linger, and many claim that the Green Lady's spirit is forever bound to the place where she lost her life, unable to move on. At Château de Brissac, visitors frequently encounter mysterious shadows and cold spots, especially near areas where the tragic death of Charlotte de France occurred. The cold spots are said to be caused by her restless spirit, still mourning her murder. Witnesses describe sudden drops in temperature and unexplained chills in certain rooms, particularly near the grand staircase. Some even report seeing shadowy figures moving through the hallways, disappearing as quickly as they appear. The mysterious cold and the unsettling presence of these apparitions suggest that the spirits of the past are still tied to the castle, their energies lingering in the rooms where they once lived. At Château de Brissac, many visitors have reported hearing unseen footsteps echoing through the halls at night. The sounds are particularly strong near the Duke's chambers and the ballroom, where the ghost of Charlotte de France is often seen. The footsteps are described as faint but distinct, as though someone is walking just behind you. When people turn around, there is no one there. This mysterious phenomenon is believed to be the spirit of Charlotte, still pacing the castle's halls in a futile search for peace. The sound of footsteps in the night serves as a chilling reminder that the past remains very much alive within the walls of the castle. Castello di Finis, a medieval castle in the Aosta Valley, is shrouded in eerie legends and haunted by the spirit of a murdered servant girl. According to local folklore, the girl was killed by the noble family after a forbidden love affair. Her ghost is said to haunt the castle's corridors, weeping and seeking revenge for the injustice she suffered. Visitors have reported seeing her faint figure in the castle's grand halls, dressed in the tattered remains of her servant's uniform. The atmosphere around her apparition is described as heavy and sorrowful, with a palpable sense of anger. The restless spirit of the servant girl seems unable to find peace, her ghost forever trapped in the place where she was wronged. The Finis family once ruled over Castello di Finis, but their legacy is said to be cursed. Many members of the family met violent deaths or suffered betrayals, leaving their spirits bound to the castle. Some visitors report seeing ghostly figures of Venus family members walking the grounds, their faces obscured by shadows. The main courtyard and the castle tower are said to be particularly haunted, with whispers and unexplained noises echoing through the stone walls. Some claim to have seen bloodstains that never fade, as though the violence of the past is continuously replaying. The curse of the Fennis family seems to linger, forever haunting the castle they once called home. At Castello di Fennis, a mysterious bell toll rings out late at night, even though the bell tower is silent. The tolling is believed to be the sound of spirits calling out from the castle's past. Local legends say that the bell tolls for those who died unjustly within the castle's walls, including members of the Fennis family who were betrayed and murdered. The tolling bell is often heard just before the appearance of ghostly apparitions, adding to the haunting atmosphere. Some visitors have reported hearing the bell ring, only to find the castle silent when they check the bell tower. The tolling is believed to be a message from the restless spirits, forever trapped in the castle's dark history. The Lady in Black is another well-known apparition at Castello di Fennis. She is believed to be the ghost of a former noblewoman who was betrayed and murdered by her lover. Her spirit is said to wander the castle's halls, dressed in a flowing black gown, seeking revenge. Witnesses report seeing her in the castle's entrance or near the tower, her face obscured by the darkness of night. The Lady in Black's ghost is accompanied by a strong feeling of sadness and rage. Some visitors even report hearing the faint sound of footsteps as if she is walking right behind them, only to turn around and find no one there. Her spirit seems to be trapped, forever haunting the castle she once called home. At Castello di Fennis, a strange eerie glow is said to emanate from the castle's tower at night. The source of this glow remains a mystery, but many believe it is tied to the spirit of a nobleman who died in the tower under suspicious circumstances. Visitors who stand near the tower often feel an uncomfortable sense of being watched, and some even claim to see glowing lights flickering in the windows. The glow is said to be the soul of the nobleman, still searching for justice for his untimely death. Others claim the light is a sign of the castle's cursed history, drawing spirits to the site. Whatever the cause, the glow adds to the unsettling atmosphere of the castle at night. Dragsholm Castle is one of Denmark's oldest castles, and it is notorious for its ghostly inhabitants. The White Lady, a ghost believed to be a former noblewoman, is one of the most famous spirits here. Legend has it that the White Lady was imprisoned in the castle by her lover, and her spirit now wanders the halls, forever seeking freedom. Visitors report seeing her wandering the corridors, dressed in a long white gown, her face filled with sadness. Her ghost is particularly active, near the castle's tower, where she was once held captive. Her haunting is often accompanied by a sense of unease, as if the past is never truly gone, and the White Lady's spirit remains trapped in the castle searching for release. The White Lady of Dragsholm Castle is one of the most tragic and well-known spirits associated with the castle. According to legend, she was the lover of a nobleman who betrayed her, locking her away in a dark cell. Her spirit is said to still roam the castle, dressed in a flowing white gown. Visitors often report feeling an intense coldness when they approach the tower where she was kept. Her ghost is said to be especially active at night, with some claiming to have heard soft whispers or seen her ethereal figure near the windows. The White Lady's haunting is a tale of love, betrayal, and eternal longing, as her spirit continues to seek revenge for the betrayal that led to her imprisonment. In the dungeons of Dragsholm Castle, many visitors report hearing phantom footsteps echoing through the stone corridors. These footsteps are believed to belong to the spirits of prisoners who were once held in the castle. The dungeons were notorious for their brutality, and many died here, either from torture or starvation. The footsteps are said to be the restless souls of those who never left, still pacing the same corridors where they were once imprisoned. Some report hearing the sound of chains dragging across the floor, as if the prisoners are still locked in their cells. These phantoms are believed to be trapped in the castle, unable to escape the fate they met in life. Dragsholm Castle is haunted by the ghost of an executioner, whose presence is felt near the castle's gallows. The executioner was once tasked with carrying out executions, and he is said to still be bound to the castle. His ghost is often seen near the execution chamber, carrying out his grim duties even in death. Some visitors report hearing the sound of an axe or the faint creak of ropes in the area. The executioner's ghost is often accompanied by a sense of foreboding, as if the past violence of the castle's history is still very much alive. The spirits of those executed are believed to be trapped in the castle, forever bound to the executioner's lingering presence. The courtyard of Dragsholm Castle is one of the most haunted areas, with numerous reports of strange noises and unseen presences. Visitors often describe feeling an overwhelming sense of unease when walking through the courtyard, as though they are being watched by unseen eyes. Some have heard disembodied voices or the sound of footsteps approaching, only to turn around and find no one there. The courtyard is believed to be haunted by the spirits of former residents, including those who died unjustly in the castle. Their restless souls are said to still haunt the area, forever tied to the place where their lives were cut short. The courtyard is a constant reminder of the castle's violent and tragic past. Malmö Castle, a 16th century fortress, is known for its eerie atmosphere and numerous hauntings. The castle was once the site of political intrigue and betrayal, and it is believed that the spirits of the dead still linger here. One of the most prominent ghosts is the spirit of a knight, who is said to haunt the castle's upper tower. Visitors report hearing the clanking of armour and seeing shadows moving through the windows. The spirit of the knight is believed to be a former defender of the castle, still guarding the place he once protected. The atmosphere in the castle is often described as oppressive, with a constant feeling that something is watching, waiting for the knight's ghost to make his presence known. One of the most famous hauntings at Malmö Castle is the ghost of a knight who once defended the fortress. His spirit is said to haunt the castle's ramparts and staircases, forever bound to the place he once called home. Visitors have reported seeing a tall figure in armour standing on the walls, staring out over the surrounding land. The knight's ghost seems to be eternally watching over the castle, ensuring it is never left unprotected. Some claim to have heard the clanking of his armour, or felt a sudden cold draught when near his apparition. The knight's spirit remains tied to the castle, still on duty even in death. The spirit of the dying king haunts the royal chambers of Malmö Castle, where he spent his final days. The king's death was a tragic one, marked by illness and betrayal, and his ghost is believed to still roam the rooms where he suffered. Visitors often report feeling a sense of sorrow when near his chambers, as if the king's spirit is still clinging to life. The presence of the king's ghost is said to be especially strong near the royal bedchamber, where his suffering was the most intense. Some claim to hear his laboured breaths or the sound of weeping, as though the king's final moments are still being relived. In the castle's hallways, the whispers of long-dead royals can sometimes be heard, particularly near the royal suite. These whispers are believed to belong to the spirits of past kings and queens, still trying to communicate. The whispers often sound like soft conversations or the rustling of robes, but when visitors turn around, no one is there. Some claim to have heard the sound of footsteps following them, only to find no one around. The spirits of Malmö Castle's former residents seem to linger in the hallways, still trying to impart their wisdom or regrets, forever trapped in the palace that once belonged to them. In the tower of Malmö Castle, visitors often feel unseen forces pushing or pulling them as they climb the stairs. These sensations are believed to be the result of spirits trapped within the castle, unable to escape the tower's walls. Some have reported feeling tugged on their clothing, or having their hair pulled while ascending the tower. The energy in the tower is said to be particularly strong, as though the spirits of former inhabitants are still watching over the castle. The unseen forces in the tower seem to be the last remnants of the castle's violent history, as though the spirits are still trying to communicate or protect their home from intruders. Malmö Castle, the largest brick castle in the world, is renowned for its eerie atmosphere and historical significance. It was the headquarters of the Teutonic Knights, and its vast stone walls are said to echo with the ghosts of fallen soldiers. Ghostly knights clad in full armour have been seen walking along the battlements, silently patrolling the castle as they did in life. The castle's courtyards are haunted by the sound of clinking armour and the footsteps of these ancient warriors. Visitors have reported a sense of being watched, and some even claim to see shadowy figures that vanish when approached. The spirits of the knights seem bound to the castle, forever guarding the fortress they once called home. The Teutonic knights who once lived and fought at Malmö Castle are believed to have cursed the fortress. Many of the knights died violently, their spirits forever tied to the castle. Some visitors claim to see the ghosts of knights in armour wandering the grounds at night. These spectral figures seem to be locked in an endless loop of battle, reliving the violence that marked their lives. The main courtyard and moat are particularly haunted, with eerie sounds of clashing swords and hooves filling the air. The spirits of the knights seem unable to move on, their souls forever tied to the castle that once represented their power and strength. One of the most unsettling legends at Malbec Castle is the Woman in White, believed to be the spirit of a noblewoman who was tragically betrayed and murdered by her lover. Her ghost is often seen near the castle's entrance gate or in the courtyard, dressed in a long, flowing white gown. Witnesses describe her as pale and sorrowful, her face twisted in anguish. The presence of the Woman in White is said to be accompanied by an overwhelming sense of sadness and despair, as if her spirit is still searching for justice. Her ghost is forever tied to the place where she met her tragic end, unable to move on. The library of Malbec Castle is said to be haunted by the spirit of a monk who was consumed by forbidden knowledge. The monk spent his last years in the library, working on ancient texts before dying under mysterious circumstances. His ghost is often seen hunched over a desk, studying the same manuscripts. Visitors report feeling a sudden cold chill when entering the library, and some even claim to hear the faint sound of pages turning. The monk's spirit is believed to be trapped in the library, forever seeking answers that he was unable to find in life. His haunting is a reminder of the castle's dark past, where knowledge and power were intertwined with death. In Palazzo, Ducal, the death mask of a doge, is said to hold the spirit of the ruler who once wore it. The mask, which was created after his death, is believed to have captured his soul, and many visitors report feeling a sense of unease when near it. Some claim that the mask's eyes seem to follow them, and others describe an overwhelming sensation of being watched when standing in front of it. The doge's ghost is said to remain in the mask, guarding the secrets of Venice and the palace. The eerie presence of the mask adds to the mystery of the palace, where the spirits of the past seem to linger, still guarding their city. The Forbidden City in Beijing is not only a symbol of imperial power, but also a place of haunted memories. It was home to emperors and their concubines, but many of these spirits are said to remain trapped within its walls. Empress Dowager Cixi is one of the most famous apparitions, often seen walking the imperial gardens or near the throne room. Her ghost is described as a faint figure dressed in imperial robes, her face solemn as she surveys the palace she once ruled. The Forbidden City holds a sense of oppression and history, with many visitors feeling a heavy presence, as though the spirits of the past still inhabit the very walls of the palace. Within the walls of the Forbidden City, whispers of the past still echo through the halls. The spirits of former emperors, concubines, and servants are believed to linger here, their voices still carried on the wind. Visitors report hearing faint voices in areas like the Hall of Supreme Harmony or near the Imperial Garden, though no one is around. Some say the whispers grow louder as they approach the palace rooms, as if the spirits are trying to communicate. The whispering spirits are said to be trapped within the palace, their voices never fully able to escape the oppressive walls. The feeling of being watched is particularly strong in these areas, adding to the haunting atmosphere. The ghost of Empress Dowager Cixi is one of the most well-known apparitions in the Forbidden City. Cixi was one of the most powerful figures in Chinese history, and after her death, her spirit is believed to have remained in the palace. Her ghost is often seen near the imperial gardens or in the throne room, where she once ruled with an iron fist. Visitors have reported feeling a sudden drop in temperature when near her apparition, as though she's still watching over the palace she once controlled. Some claim to hear her footsteps echoing in the halls or even see her figure, faint but powerful, moving between the palace walls, still guarding her empire from beyond the grave. The spirit of Emperor Yongzheng is said to haunt the Forbidden City, where he ruled during the Qing dynasty. His ghost is most often seen near the throne room, where he once held court and made crucial decisions. Visitors often report feeling a sense of authority and coldness in the areas where he once presided, as if his spirit still governs the palace. Some claim to hear soft murmurs or commands as they walk through the rooms, feeling as though the emperor's presence is still overseeing the palace. The ghost of Emperor Yongzheng is said to be forever tied to the place where he once reigned, still watching over the throne from which he ruled. The spirits of executed concubines are said to haunt the Forbidden City, where many women died at the hands of jealous emperors or powerful court officials. These concubines were often imprisoned and executed in brutal ways, and their spirits are said to linger in the palace corridors. Visitors have reported hearing screams or mournful wails coming from the rooms where the concubines once lived. The spirits of these women are believed to be trapped in the palace, forever seeking justice for their untimely deaths. Some claim to see shadowy figures in the palace, walking the halls where they once served, their restless souls never finding peace. Edinburgh Castle, perched on a volcanic rock, is not only one of Scotland's most iconic landmarks, but also one of its most haunted. The ghosts of soldiers, many of whom died during sieges and battles, are said to still walk its walls. The Headless Drummer Boy is perhaps the most famous apparition, seen walking the battlements while playing a haunting tune on his drum. The Grey Lady, a sorrowful spirit, is also believed to haunt the castle, appearing near the royal chambers where she once worked. The atmosphere at the castle is thick with historical energy, as though the past refuses to leave. Ghostly whispers and footsteps are often reported, and visitors say they feel an overwhelming sense of being watched. The Headless Drummer Boy is one of the most famous and eerie spirits at Edinburgh Castle. According to legend, the boy was decapitated during a battle, but his ghost continues to haunt the castle, playing his drum as he did in life. Visitors often hear the sound of drum beats echoing through the castle at night, but when they investigate, the boy's apparition is nowhere to be found. Some witnesses claim to see his headless form, still drumming as he walks along the castle walls. The haunting drumming is especially prominent near the castle battlements and the St. Margaret's Chapel, where the boy is believed to have been killed. His spirit remains trapped in a loop of his final moments, eternally playing his drum. The Grey Lady is another ghostly presence in Edinburgh Castle. Known for her tragic story, she's believed to be the spirit of a lady-in-waiting who died while serving the royal family. Her ghost is often seen wandering the castle halls, dressed in a faded grey gown. Witnesses report a sudden drop in temperature when she appears, and some describe feeling an intense sadness and despair. The Grey Lady is thought to be the spirit of a woman who was betrayed, and whose death remains a mystery. Her presence in the castle is marked by a haunting quiet, as if her sorrow is too much for the living to bear. She's forever bound to the castle, seeking justice for her untimely death. The ghosts of soldiers who died defending Edinburgh Castle are said to haunt the fortress, continuing their vigil long after death. These soldiers, many of whom were killed in battle or executed for their loyalty, are often seen marching the castle walls, their figures draped in historic military uniforms. Some visitors report hearing the clink of swords or the sound of boots on stone floors, but when they look, no one is visible. These spectral soldiers are believed to be trapped in the castle, guarding it for eternity, unable to leave the place where they once fought. The battlements and moat are particularly haunted, with the sounds of battle echoing through the air. Their spirits remain on duty, ever loyal to the castle they once defended. Near the crown jewels of Scotland, displayed in Edinburgh Castle, visitors often experience sudden cold spots. These chilling sensations are believed to be caused by the spirits of past monarchs who are said to guard these sacred relics. The coldness intensifies as visitors approach the exhibit, making the experience feel unnervingly unnatural. Some claim to feel a sudden sense of unease or a chill in the air, as though the royal spirits are near. The presence of the crown jewels seems to attract these lingering spirits, who are said to never truly leave their royal duties. The cold spots are a reminder that the spirits of the monarchy still haunt the palace, watching over the treasures that once symbolised their reign. The Château de Versailles, a symbol of opulence, is also home to many restless spirits. Marie Antoinette, one of the most iconic figures in French history, is said to haunt the palace. Her ghost is often seen near the Hall of Mirrors, where she once attended royal events. Witnesses describe seeing a shadowy figure in a white gown, drifting through the halls in silence. Marie Antoinette's spirit is said to be bound to Versailles, where her life and death played out in the public eye. Her tragic fate, executed during the French Revolution, is believed to have left her spirit trapped, unable to leave the place where her final days unfolded. Her presence lingers in the grand rooms, a ghost of former royalty. The spirit of Louis XVI is said to haunt Château de Versailles, particularly in the Queen's bedroom, where he and Marie Antoinette spent many private moments. His ghost is believed to wander the palace, often appearing near the royal bedchamber, where he was arrested before his execution. Visitors claim to feel an overwhelming sense of dread when near his apparition, as if he is still watching over his queen. The chilling presence of Louis XVI's ghost is particularly felt during stormy nights, when the atmosphere grows heavier and the air seems thick with the remnants of his tragic fate. His restless spirit is said to never have left, forever tied to the place where his reign ended. Ain, the gardens of Versailles, vanishing footsteps are heard in the silence of the night, often reported near the Fountain of Latona. These footsteps are believed to belong to spirits of former courtiers, servants, and even royals who died within the palace. The sounds begin as faint, distant footfalls, but as visitors search for the source, the footsteps mysteriously disappear. It is said that the ghosts are eternally wandering the grounds, still stuck in the rituals and courtly routines that once defined Versailles. The gardens, with their immense beauty and tragic past, are seen as a place where the dead continue to walk, unwilling to leave the place where they once flourished. The phantom drummer of Château de Chillon is one of the most chilling apparitions tied to the castle's haunting. It is said that a drummer boy, once tasked with exploring a secret passage, was lost forever within the castle's depths. His ghost is believed to return, playing his drum, especially during stormy nights. Visitors have reported hearing the echo of drum beats, sometimes faint, sometimes overwhelming, coming from deep within the castle. The sound is haunting, and seems to come from everywhere, as though the drummer is still trapped in the labyrinthine passageways. The spirit of the drummer boy is forever tied to the castle, endlessly repeating the task he failed to complete in life. The mirror in Versailles' Hall of Mirrors is rumoured to be cursed, reflecting not just the present but the spirits of the past. It is believed that this mirror holds the ghosts of former royals, including Louis XIV, Marie Antoinette, and others. Those who stand before the mirror at night often report seeing ghostly reflections of the royals, not their own. Some even claim the reflections appear to move, with figures in period dress standing behind them. The mirror, which once captured the grandeur of Versailles, now reflects the long-dead monarchs, trapping their spirits in its glass. This eerie phenomenon serves as a chilling reminder of the royal lives that were once lived here, now forever part of the palace's haunting legacy. A chilling legend surrounds the grand ballroom at Château de Versailles. It is said that the spirits of the royal family continue to dance in the ballroom at midnight, forever reliving their glorious past. The sound of waltzes is heard, though no orchestra plays. The royals, still in their extravagant gowns and military uniforms, glide across the floor as if the revolution never came. Visitors sometimes hear faint laughter and the soft shuffle of dancing shoes, but when they approach, the room is empty. The last dance of the royals is a haunting reminder that their once grand lives continue to echo through Versailles' halls, stuck in an eternal celebration that time can't erase. Château de Chillon, located on the shores of Lake Geneva, is known for its dark history and ghostly legends. The most famous ghost here is that of François Bonivardus, monk imprisoned in the castle's dungeon for political reasons. His spirit is said to wander the castle's corridors and dungeons, still searching for freedom. Visitors often report a strong feeling of claustrophobia and unease in the dungeons, as though they are being watched by the monk's tortured soul. Some claim to hear faint sounds of chains rattling, the very sounds Bonivard would have heard during his imprisonment. The castle, built on lakefront cliffs, seems to hold his ghost captive, unable to escape the place where he endured his suffering. The dungeons of Château de Chillon are infamous for the ghost of François Bonivard, who was kept prisoner in a dark cell for years. His suffering left a mark on the castle, and now his spirit is said to be trapped there. Visitors often hear soft footsteps or see a shadowy figure pacing the dungeons, as if he's still trying to escape. The air grows heavier near the cells, and many describe an overwhelming feeling of sadness when they approach the dungeon's entrance. Bonivard's ghost is believed to be searching for the freedom he was denied in life, and his presence serves as a reminder of the castle's long and violent past. The Lady in Blue is a well-known ghost at Château de Chillon. She is believed to be the spirit of a noblewoman who drowned in Lake Geneva after a tragic love affair. Her ghost is said to appear at the castle windows, looking out across the lake, gazing at the place where she took her final breath. Visitors report seeing a glowing figure in a blue gown, her face filled with sorrow. Some claim they hear her crying softly. The sound carried on the wind. The Lady in Blue's tragic story is one of love and loss, and her spirit continues to linger in the castle, forever tied to the lake she couldn't escape. Lake Geneva, which borders Château de Chillon, is believed to be cursed. Spirits of the drowned, particularly those who perished near the castle, are said to haunt its shores. Visitors sometimes report seeing glowing figures walking along the lake at night, their footsteps barely audible on the water's edge. Some even claim to hear distant cries for help coming from the depths of the lake. The curse is believed to be tied to the castle's dark history, where prisoners and enemies of the state were thrown into the lake to die. These restless spirits are still believed to haunt the water, trapped forever in the place where they met their end. The Château de Versailles in France is one of the most famous palaces in the world, but it's also one of the most haunted. Marie Antoinette, who met a tragic end during the French Revolution, is said to haunt the Hall of Mirrors, where she once danced with the court. Her ghost is believed to appear at night, still dressed in her royal attire, walking through the hall with a sense of regret. Visitors often report seeing her faint reflection in the mirrors, even though the room is empty. Her presence seems to linger in the grand rooms of Versailles, a reminder of her tragic fate and the end of the monarchy in France. The spirit of Louis XVI is believed to haunt Château de Versailles, particularly the Queen's bedroom, where he and Marie Antoinette spent private moments. His ghost is often seen standing by the bed or gazing out the window. Visitors describe feeling an overwhelming sense of melancholy when near his apparition, as though the king is still trapped in his final moments. The ghostly figure of Louis XVI is a reminder of the fall of the monarchy, as his reign ended in tragedy. His restless spirit is thought to be watching over the palace, still connected to the place where he once ruled, even after his execution during the Revolution. The gardens of Versailles are not only known for their beauty but also for their eerie, supernatural presence. Visitors to the palace often hear footsteps echoing in the quiet of the gardens, especially near the Fountain of Latona. The footsteps are believed to be the ghosts of former royals or court members who once wandered these gardens. Some claim to hear the sound of rustling robes or the soft tread of boots following them, only to turn around and find no one there. The vanishing footsteps serve as a reminder that the past is never truly gone, and the spirits of the court still haunt the grounds where they once held power. The Hall of Mirrors at Château de Versailles is famous for its grandeur, but it is also said to be haunted by the spirits of past monarchs. The mirror, which once reflected the power of the French monarchy, is believed to be a portal for the souls of those who once ruled. Visitors have reported seeing reflections of royal figures, including Louis XIV and Marie Antoinette. Even though no one is standing before the mirror, the haunting reflections seem to move independently, as if the spirits are trapped within the glass, forever watching over the palace. This eerie phenomenon is a chilling reminder of the palace's history, and the royals who once lived and died there. In the grand ballroom of Versailles, there are legends of the spirits of the royal family dancing at midnight, reliving their former glory. The sound of waltzes can be heard echoing through the ballroom, though no orchestra plays. The royals, dressed in extravagant gowns and military uniforms, glide across the floor as though time has never passed. Their figures appear faint and ghostly, as though stuck in an eternal dance. Visitors sometimes report hearing soft laughter or the click of heels, but when they turn, the ballroom is empty. This haunting dance serves as a reminder that the past never truly fades, and the spirits of the royals continue to haunt the very rooms where they once thrived. As we've discovered through these 100 creepy facts, the haunting tales of royal castles and palaces are as chilling as they are fascinating. Whether it's the restless spirits of former monarchs, tragic deaths, or cursed artifacts, these historical landmarks are steeped in legends that continue to intrigue and terrify. The ghostly figures that haunt these majestic buildings serve as a reminder of the past, one filled with drama, betrayal, and of course, death. These haunted sites remind us that, no matter how grand or beautiful a place may be, the spirits of those who once ruled, lived, and suffered within them remain forever tied to the past. The next time you visit one of these iconic castles or palaces, remember, you might not be alone. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey through the most haunted royal estates. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which haunted castle or palace intrigued you the most? Let us know, and be sure to stay tuned for more spine-tingling stories from history's darkest corners. As we've discovered through these 100 creepy facts, the haunting tales of royal castles and palaces are as chilling as they are fascinating. Whether it's the restless spirits of former monarchs, tragic deaths, or cursed artifacts, these historical landmarks are steeped in legends that continue to intrigue and terrify. The ghostly figures that haunt these majestic buildings serve as a reminder of the past, one filled with drama, betrayal, and of course, death. These haunted sites remind us that, no matter how grand or beautiful a place may be, the spirits of those who once ruled, lived, and suffered within them remain forever tied to the past. The next time you visit one of these iconic castles or palaces, remember, you might not be alone. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey through the most haunted royal estates. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which haunted castle or palace intrigued you the most? Let us know, and be sure to stay tuned for more spine-tingling stories from history's darkest corners.